Praise God. This reminds me right now, let me update you on what is going on in Japan. It's been about a year now since Prime Minister Abe was assassinated in Japan. And so, the media always likes anniversaries, all right? And so when an anniversary comes around, they sort of say, okay, this happened a year ago and let's see what's happened since then. And of course, what happened after Abe was that there was a lot of pressure on the government to investigate and even order the disbandment of the Family Federation in Japan. And technically, actually, the government cannot disband it. The government can only submit a petition to a court asking the court to order the disbandment of a Family Federation. So the government started going through that process, and they started sending out, I think, what are called interrogatories. In other words, all sorts of questions. And we want information on this, we want information on that, and 6 times now, actually. And it's not just one question on each interrogatory; it's a whole series of questions. And the government has done that 6 times so far in the past year. And they do this by authority that is granted them under a law that was passed after the Aum Shinrikyo incident. If you remember that happened way back when this group of really crazy people decided to spread, what was it, raisin, or anyway, some poison powder on the subway in Tokyo, and killed a number of people. And so in that case, the head of that religious group was actually arrested, tried, found guilty of murder, and he has been executed. They put him in the electric chair, and they killed him. I think maybe one other leader of that group as well. But anyway, after that, the government decided, okay, we need to have more control over religious groups. So they made this law that gives them the right to. It's not an investigation. They're not investigating, but it's a series of interrogatories, and the religious group has to answer these questions that are given to them, and then the government says, okay, well, as a result of these answers, we found this, that, and the other, and so we're asking the court to disband this group. And it has only been twice in Japan's history that the government has actually asked the court to, or only 2 religious groups have been disbanded. The Aum Shinrikyo was one of them, and there was a Buddhist organization that was found to be operating some sort of a Ponzi scheme that was the other one. So, several months ago, I guess November, even October, November last year, I was thinking, and so a lot of other people were thinking that, okay, by the end of the year, by the end of 2022, the government is going to go to the court and ask for the disbandment of the Family Federation. Well, it didn't happen. And coincidentally, by the way, Abe's public support, his support in the polls began to rise. So, yeah, okay, here we go again. Politicians. He thought that, or he was trying to gain popularity by hitting or by attacking the Family Federation, and it looks like it worked. That's what I thought too. Well, this anniversary now that has come up, everything would have passed, I suppose, relatively quietly. The press would have said, okay, why hasn't the government done anything? And what's going on, everything like that, and probably 1 or 2 stories, and they would have gone on to the next story. But Hak Ja Han took it upon herself to give a helping hand to the Japanese media. She wasn't satisfied. Anyway, so she called some say 1,000, some say 1,200 Japanese leaders to where she is in Chongpyeong in Korea, and gave them read them the riot act, as we say in English. She really scolded them and basically scolded the Japanese government, Japanese politicians, and so forth. And very quickly, a recording of her speech was leaked to the Japanese media. Yeah, this is the state, because obviously, there's one or more people who are in the Japanese leadership, Family Federation leadership, who are not happy with what's going on, but they somehow feel, for some reason, I guess it's because of money, obligated, or maybe they're committed to bringing down the church. I don't know. But anyway, someone recorded the speech, even they were not supposed to, and they leaked it to the Japanese media, even though it was supposed to be secret. So, the last several days, the Japanese media have been taking this apart and reporting on what the Hak Ja Han said. And one of the statements that they've focused on is where Hak Ja Han says that Japan is a war criminal country. And since they're a war criminal country, they should pay reparations to those that they harmed. And also, another statement that they're focusing on is, obviously, I'm translating from the Japanese, which the Japanese media translated from the Korean, so there could be a little bit of error in there. But another statement that they're focusing on is where she says, bring Japanese politicians, including Kishida, here and re-educate them. And also, she says, if Japan does not accept me as the only begotten daughter, Japan will be destroyed. These kinds of things. So you can imagine how much mileage the Japanese media is going to get out of those kinds of statements, and they're getting they're getting their money's worth. They're getting their money's worth. Yes. I don't know how much they paid the guy who leaked this. Maybe nothing, maybe a lot. I don't know. But however much they may have paid, they're really getting their money's worth on this. So now, something that could have passed relatively quietly now is actually, basically she has sort of, hit the hornet's nest there, and so the hornets are buzzing around again. And there's speculation again. This is the 7th of July. There is speculation that the government may go to the court before the end of this month. Some people say, okay, and other people say, well, no, maybe not. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it looks like the process is going forward, and it looks like Hak Ja Han just can't leave well enough alone for her sake. Yes. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But of course, why would she want 1,200 leaders to come to Korea, not just one or two? Well, I think it's pretty easy to speculate. I think pretty much everyone involved is speculating the same thing, that it's become very difficult for the Family Federation to send money by bank wire from Japan to Korea. And so they are now having to take money in cash. And of course, there's a limit on how much each person can take. And so that's why they are doing this. All right. Let's say if it's I don't know. I think it's a $1 million yen, I believe, that you can take out of the country. $1 million yen these days is about $70,000? No, $7,000. I'm sorry, $7,000. $7,000. So 1,000. If we say 1,000 people did that, then 7,000 times 1,000 would be 7 million. Which, what shall I say? Hak Ja Han is a very high maintenance lady. Let's put it that way. She spends money like crazy. So $7 million will not go very far. But I'm sure that they will keep on trying. But really, the sad part about this is that Japanese members of the Family Federation continue to donate their monies to the church, and this is something that really, I'm sure, Father wants to stop. He does not want any more money going to Hak Ja Han, certainly, or to anyone else who has betrayed Father, betrayed the providence. So that's the sad thing, because still Japanese members are cutting back on their children's lunch money, college tuition, college savings, these kinds of things, in order to make donations to the Family Federation, and that simply has to stop. That is just it's a humanitarian thing, and well, let's pray that somehow people in Japan can become open to the truth, and that the truth will make them free. All right. So Father said that victory is going to be his, and I'm sure that that is absolutely correct. Okay. All right. So that's my update to you this morning on what's going on in Japan. Now let's continue to pray that God's will can be done there. Let's see. I want to cover today. I want to talk about